Yellow Fellow People, and today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers. I'm just messing with you, this isn't what I mean. We'll be taking a look at the Transformers 3D series Bumblebee movie Ratchet. And a review for the other one will come soon. So, yeah. So, taking a look at the painting and sculpting, it's actually pretty good. So, you can see that there's a lot of pretty good sculpted and detailing, and a lot of pretty good painted and detailing. And I find it weird how his ab section looks like a nose of Provo Pass. Anyway, so taking a look at that head sculpt, it looks pretty good, though it kind of looks dead without any sort of light coming out of it. And that's where this comes in. He light pipes. So, bringing in this random pen, you can see that, yeah, this looks pretty satisfying, to be honest. And anyways, so yeah, this figure does light pipe like a lot of other figures that are of the Legacy and 2D series line, and he comes with one accessory. So it's his gun that he had in the Bumblebee movie, and you could either place it on his hand, or you could just throw it on his back. Like that. And yeah, there's not much else to talk about with the accessory, aside from it having pretty good sculpted and detailing. Let's get into some posability now, shall we? He has a ball joint on the head, can look up that far, and look down that far. If you untap his torso section a little bit, you can get some wiggling out of this, though it's not entirely useful. You can do a full 360 at the shoulder pauldron. His arms can spread out. A tight swivel at the forearm, though it kind of gets affected with the pauldron. This type of pivot on the hand due to his transformation, 90 degree elbow bend, and the backwards bend. Alex cursed. He has a waist swivel, and he can kick that far and back that far. He has a thigh swivel. He has a 90 degree elbow knee bend and ankle pivot, as well as this type of rotation. Honestly, he has pretty decent posability, though I forgot to mention the complaints I have. It'll probably be that he yellows, and it's not really visible on camera, but this part is already starting to yellow, and it's not entirely visible over here, but the sides are also starting to yellow. So yeah, if you're not really a fan of yellowing, I don't know what to say except get the Ironhide figure. Also, I forgot to mention this, but the thighs are also yellowing. Pain. So let's do some size comparisons. Oh yeah, I forgot. He's also pretty loose. It's not entirely a complaint that I have on him, because he still manages to stand up. Weird. Anyways, just placing this in the back. Let's do some size comparisons now, shall we? Here we have him compared next to Battle Class Shockwave. Here we have him compared next to the Piggy Duo. Here we have him compared next to Ratchet, the 2D series Dark of the Moon Ratchet. Here we have him compared next to the Bumblebee movie Ratchet. This is a pretty big comparison. Here we have him compared next to Siege Ironhide. And here we have him compared next to Core Class Shockwave. Here we have him compared next to World War II Bumblebee. Now then, you may be wondering why I'm comparing him next to this figure. Well, this figure is actually also has a loose lower section, yet he can barely stand up on his own due to how his feet are angled. This figure is actually able to stand up, even with the loose lower section. So yeah, let's get into his transformation now, shall we? It is pretty I'm not sure how to describe it, except for fun. But that's mostly because I like a lot of transformations. So you're going to have to untap the back, and you're going to bring this panel, and you can see that the panel has a hole that's the same shape as his head. And yeah, I actually really like that they did that. Untap his torso region, and yikes, this is a mess. You're going to have to move this section out of the way so you can make room for the bottom section. You can rotate the legs, and you can rotate the entire waist. Rotate the legs at the thighs. Bring the legs to the back, and make sure they're properly aligned. Bring in this panel, and and once you hear a soft click, you can stop. And you do the same steps on the other side. Now then, moving on to this section, you can just bring in this section, and well, you can see two ports and 2 tabs. What you're gonna have to do is try and tab them in. And there's also a tab at the top, and there's a port over here, though it does not really work. And there we have this half section. Moving on to the back. Then close up the hands. Leave these panels like that, and ring his arms. And make sure, so you can see these 2 massive tabs, and you can see 2 ports next to the thighs. There you have that. Now then, this thing has a lot of tabs. Yeah, ports, tabs, align them, and tab them in. And this one, okay, this thing has a lot of tabs. Okay, and then you do that, and here we have him in his alt mode. The resulting alt mode is really good, and the painting and sculpting isn't actually that bad. Now you can see this red stripe, and it doesn't look bad both in vehicle mode or in robot mode, because in robot mode it does not really stick out like the CD series Ironhide. Wait, that go. You can see that the shoulders can also act as light bars, as a massive light bar, and I really love that idea. The chest section being the front is a genius idea, and does not really waste any parts of the robot mode, and it results in a pretty cool looking vehicle mode, though I'm not a fan of how they didn't paint in the tail lights. Good thing Ironhide is red. He rolls pretty decently, and the wheels don't really look bad at all. And the undersection looks kind of weird, though this for some reason looks like a gas cap. I'm not sure why. So yeah, size comparison time, shall we? Here we have him compared next to the Bumblebee movie, Ratchet. Here we have him compared next to Siege, Ironhide. Here we have him compared next to World War II Bumblebee. Here we have him compared next to Core Class Shockwave. This battle droid. The Piggy Duo. And here we have him compared next to some of the other yellowing gang. Yeah. Though this figure kind of yellows the worst out of these two. So, yeah. So my overall final thoughts on this figure. I think this figure is really good. Though I'm not a fan of the yellowing plastic, and he has a pretty low bottom section, yeah, he's actually still a pretty good figure. So, yeah. I give his old mode and robot mode an 8 out of 10. And his packaging, well, I forgot to mention it, but when you compare it to older packaging, it's kind of smaller. So, yeah. And this is it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.